Hey everybody. Uh my name's Jay. And I really just wanted to kind of rant about some stuff. Um Nothing that's going on right now. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have a lot of questions about the development of my game, which you're listening to some music from the game right now. This is Sybil's theme. Song's called Smoke Break. It's on the Melody original soundtrack. Anyway, so I wanted to rant about something. It's a topic that I've seen come up multiple times throughout my, time on the internet. And it's about the concept of MMORPGs and playing them as an adult and what they've become and sort of the direction that they've gone in. I wanted to talk about like particularly World of Warcraft because that's the one that I grew up with. That's the one that I played. I was hooked to that game. Classic Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. I was just kind of nonstop in those games. Cataclysm, I kind of fell off, but I wound up coming back later. Mists of Pandaria, I gave the game a break until like I played Mists of Pandaria for like 3 weeks, and then I was just like, I'm gonna give the game a break and kind of focus on my life for a while, and I did. Then I came back for Warlords of Draenor and everything beyond that, all the way up to Dragonflight, which I think Dragonflight is a crock of fucking shit. I absolutely hate that expansion and everything it stands for, but that's beside my point. My point that I'm getting at is the argument about, Group Finder and, looking for raid and stuff like that. The ability to play the game basically 100% solo. In fact, literally 100% solo without ever having any incentive to socialize with other people in a game that, some of my lifelong friendships started in that game, in World of Warcraft. Some people who I still talk to this day. One of my best friends, Miggy, the reason I know her is she played a troll shaman named Migdala and went by Miggy for short. And it's like, friendships that we made in those games, in World of Warcraft specifically, for me, friendships that I made are like a thing that's lasted my entire damn life. And it's really important to me, looking back and seeing like how much of my life changed because of the people that I met in those games and the social life that I had when I would do raiding. I was an undead warrior back in vanilla. I used to do raiding, Molten Core, Blackwing Lair. We never made it to Naxxramas, but we did everything before that. We did Onyxia's Lair and all that kind of shit. I was the main tank for that shit. And then in Burning Crusade, I was a resto shaman. I was an absolute badass healer, and I healed all the way through Tempest Keep. We never did anything beyond Tempest Keep, but we sure did that. So what I'm getting at is nowadays that social aspect of World of Warcraft is just, it's gone. It's completely gone. There's no incentive anymore to get into a group and to socialize with people, which bugs the living shit out of me, because that's what the game was. That's what we had. And here's what the topic is. Here's why I'm making this video. Here's the entire reasoning for it. I know I talk in circles. Sorry about that. I always see the argument that's like, well, people have grown up. They have jobs and families now. They don't have time anymore. I see Asmongold say this one all the time. Oh, they got 7 kids and 14 jobs. Like they don't have time to play World of Warcraft anymore. Like, hear me out. my dad was in his 40s when I was young, you know, like, no, he was in his 50s when I was young. And he had this group of friends that twice a month would go out to the desert. We were in Southern California. I grew up in LA. We would go out to the desert and we'd just ride quads and dirt bikes and shit. And he would just go sit in his circle of friends for like 2 days. You know, we'd be in our motorhome for like 2 or 3 days. We'd be out there in the desert, and then we'd just go home. And it was just so our dad, who was the only one in the family with a career, working at a septic facility, aka a shit factory, he had his social life. In his 50s, he's got his social life, and we would all, our whole family, would set aside time twice a month just to go participate in our dad's social life. And, you know, I hated it. I hated going to the desert. It was not a good experience for me, not even a little bit, not even like a slight bit. But he had his social life. He had his thing that he would do just to hang out with his friends. So how come nowadays everybody is so, you know, productivity maxing that people are like, oh, I have a job and a family now, I can't have a social life anymore? Why the fuck not? Where the fuck's your social life, man? How come you can't meet up and do raids every Thursday and Tuesday, every Tuesday and Thursday? How come you can't raid with your buddies? How come you can't set aside a couple hours every week to go and do like mythic raiding with your buddies? How come you can't have a raid guild? How come you can't have a social life? What happened to your social life? What happened to friends? What happened to hanging out? What happened to having buddies? I don't get it. Why is this mindset of like, oh, everybody's got a family now, everybody's got a, we can't, you know, MMOs have to move on from this idea of a social life and making friends and garnering lifelong friendships. We have to get rid of that because the players of the game have families now. That doesn't mean they don't have friends anymore. What is with that? Like, am I the only one who realizes how fucking ridiculous that is? It kind of is ridiculous as this stupid fucking furry who draws boobies and butts for a living trying to tell you about how important a social life is. Listen, I'm standing in a little black void right now. Let's put something on the screen. Let's put or something family friendly I can just jam on the screen real quick. How about this little booty dancing pixel furry? There we go. That's completely family friendly. All right. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is I'm kidding. Get rid of that. What I'm getting at here is I don't understand this concept of not having a social life anymore because, oh, you don't have time for it. Why don't you have time for it? Social life is incredibly important. It's super important to have, you know, friends and people you talk to on a regular basis, people you hang out with. Incredibly important. It is like astonishingly important for your social life to exist. Like, you have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to set aside some time to have some friendships. And I don't, at no point in my life has it ever made any sense that it's like, oh, you're too old to have friends now. Because I've known, you know, my mom's in her 70s right now and she has a friend circle. She has a job. And she goes to work and she sells stuff at a little like a reselling store. She goes and sells like antiques and shit like that. And she's got a little friend group there, and they like go and hang out and stuff. I mean, she's retired, it's a little different, but like, she's in her 70s, she has 3 kids, and she lives in California, and she's barely scraping by with, you know, making money and shit, but like, even she has a social life. She has a little social circle that she hangs out with twice a week. Like, I don't get it. What is with this, like, nobody has any fucking time anymore? Yes, you do. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have any time. You don't have time to go and play an MMORPG twice a week with your buddy? Why the fuck not? Make time. It's important. Make time, dumbass. You have any idea how fucking important that is for your brain to have friends you hang out with? What the fuck's wrong with you? You fucking stupid person? Anyway, let's time to shamelessly plug the game that I'm working on in case anybody ever watches this, which it's probably going to be a very low number of people. The theme song you're listening to right now is the theme song of this cat right here. That's Sybil. She's a piece of shit. She's one of the 2 major main characters, the other being Melody, the namesake of the game itself. There's the 2 of them next to each other. I'm making a video game. It's called Melody. I'm making it all by myself. All the art, all the music, all the everything, every single fucking bit of the game is all being made by me. And I hope that you check it out in the future. I hope that you like it. I know that I'm a porn artist, but it's not a pornographic game. It is, however, a very violent game. It's a horror fantasy RPG, very character driven, and I hope that you play it when it comes out. Because if you don't, I don't know what I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to do what I always do: figure out something else to make money and feed myself. I have arthritis. My name's Jay Tonic. Thanks for listening to me rant about, I guess World of Warcraft was the topic, and the importance of a social life. Spend time with your friends. Make time. I don't give a shit what you think you're doing. It's so fucking important. Make time. Make time to hang out with your friends. Your friends like having you around, and you like having your friends around, so make time to hang out with your friends. Go to a fucking diner. Go to Taco Bell with them. I don't give a shit what you do. Make hanging out with your friends a thing that you do regularly. Like, schedule it. Talk with your friends about, like, hey, we should have, like, a designated, like, hangout time every week. Even fucking Hank Hill stood on the fucking street with his buddies and went, yep, yep. Make time. I am the Time Lord.